You got a good view of me washing hanging there. Didn't think about that, did I? Plonker. Right, as long as it's not my knickers, that's all right. So they told us we had to pull an organ. So bedtime story. Let's give them a shuffle. Let's dig to the bottom. What we got? Elder. So from the branch, the organ then. Elder. So it could be even mean the older generation. Oh, they're flashing the lights already. I've only just started. Ruis. Sorry, it's the elder, not the older. 147. Don't flickered all week and now they've started again. Let's see. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. They're making themselves very known. If I move the camera, they'll stop doing it, so I'm not moving the camera. So it's the 13th moon. It's the extra day, February the 29th. It's the second joint of the ring finger. So it's Leo, and Leo's been mentioned a lot in the read, hasn't it? It's the red-haired one. It's blood red. The stone is dark green malachite, so the heart, and Leo rules the heart and the back. The bird is the rook, Rocknat. The musical note of D, and the planet of Mars, War. The goddess, Marigu. The flower essence of the red chestnut, the walnut, and the Star of Bethlehem. So Jewish. Any symbols of death and rebirth. For my altar this year, I had bird's nest holding both eggs and the skull of a bird. Endings and new beginnings. The word ogre, redness and passion. Well done, Spirit, because that's what they said we was lacking, is the passion. We need some passion. The elder tree is the waterside tree that has always been associated with witches. This is an old English superstition that a child placed in an elder cradle will pine away or be pinched black and blue by the fairies. In Ireland, elder sticks were said to have been used by witches as magic horses. The flowers and inner bark are famous for their therapeutic quality, but the scent was held to cause death and disease. Folklore has labelled it as an unlucky tree. English folklore states that those who used it to burn bring the devil into the house. Elder's white flowers make elder another aspect of the white goddess. Elder's magical properties attach it to the planet of Venus. Well done, Spirit. So we had Venus in the cards today, and the element of water. It is used for exorcism, protection, healing, prosperity, and sleep. Elder was also used in burial rites. Witches and sprites were thought to live within the elder as it bleeds red sap when cut. It is worn to ward off attackers. It can be hung over a doorway to keep out evil and has powers to release negative energy and cast against you. So, protection. It's a tree of death and rebirth, so Scorpio, and was called Ellen, or Witch Mother, by the Scandinavians, so the name Ellen could be important. Animals do not graze by her. The rabbit will not eat her. Her berries make good wine, and the tree bears fruit well into December. Elder is a sign of evolutionary change, a transition from one state to another. Old things are passing away, and new things will take their place. It is a time of letting go of what holds you back. It is important to come to terms with the change during this cycle. Everything changes and transforms. All life, beginnings and endings, birth, deaths and rebirth. Ruis is the beginning in the end, and the end in the beginning. The moon of completeness. The tree symbolizes exorcism, prosperity, banishing, and healing. The personality of the elder tree comes from the elder mother who dwelt in the tree. In Europe and Britain, wise people still show respect by touching their hats in passing the elder mother. Witches would often turn themselves into elder trees. One famous witch turned a king and his army to stone. The Rollright stones in Oxfordshire are said to be a Danish king and his men on the way to battle the English. The king asked the witch his fate, and she replied, 7 long strides thou shalt take, and if Long Crompton thou canst see, King of England thou shalt be. Because he was almost at the crest of the hill, he was confident, so he rode forth, and on the 7th stride a long mound rose up before him, blocking his view. The old witch continued, as Long Crompton thou canst not see, King of England thou shalt not be. Rise up, stick, and stand still stone, for King of England thou shalt be none. Thou and thy men horse stone shall be, and I myself an elder tree. So don't count your chickens before the hatch. Even if you think you can see something within your grasp, it's not certain sure that you will have it. In an instant, the Danish king and his men were turned to stone. The warriors loyal to the king became the king's men stone, set in a circle, and those that questioned his authority became the whispering knights huddled together apart from each other. The king became the stone king, still in shock. The witch resumed her guise as guardian elder tree. Local customs and traditions around this legend say on Midsummer's Eve, the 20th of June, if people sought out the elder tree and danced with elder garlands in their hair at midnight, the Stone King would turn his head to watch the dance. The winter solstice, or Mean Grimlich in Gaelic, occurs around December the 21st and 22nd. It is the dark of year and the shortest day. The common elder is a shrub. Elder members of the honeysuckle family. I am wave of the sea. On the boundless sea I was set adrift, so someone may have been buried at sea. Of the last moon Amagan sings, I am the ocean wave. This is no longer a breaker crashing against the cliff. This is a wave moving freely in through the land, and this is all part of the mysterious fluid movement of the sea, which is unpredictable and wild. It can carry us away from shore and take us to depths beyond our imaginings. It can be perilous and hostile, but also a source of fertility and growth. So we're going into hostile times, but from them we will grow. Our knowledge of how life began tells us that the very first life forms came from the sea, and as such we must honour her as Mother Ocean. There is a reward for those of us who are willing to risk ourselves to a world beneath our consciousness, taking ourselves into the deep unknown of the sea. During its darkest season, when the forces of growth are quietened, we must now clean whatever poisons remain in our metaphorical soil. Those waves that carry us away from the land must also wash away all aspects of the past that will hold us back or impede our growth. We need to be able to leave this womb of darkness at the appointed time, cleansed of all that has been holding us back. With the rising of the new moon, so the new moon will be beginning of next month, we attune ourselves to the surging waves, feeling the strength of the wave carrying us out into the unknown. And then in the waxing period, we are pulled fully into the depths. We're in the waxing moon now, stripping away all that holds us to the past. At the full moon, we purify, and at the waning phase, we will feel reversal of these energies, removing us from all feelings of loss or regret. At this time, all of the soothing energies of the darkness are available to us for healing and restoration. So embrace the darkness. This moon truly is one of endings and rebirth. I am a wave of the sea, rolling on forever onwards, gathering strength, pausing for none, sunbeam riding on the ocean wave, firefly riding in the sky, Amazon riding on the ocean beach, old moon rising on everything is beautiful. In the earth and the sea and starry sky, old moon fades and young moon grows. Our life will never die. On the earth, in the earth, with the fire by the water, I am flowing, the elder moon's daughter. Excuse me. Malachite is a relatively soft, dark green stone with swirls and stripes of lighter green. Not sure if I've got any malachite handy. I think it's in my box. Its colour comes from copper, reputed to confer the ability to understand animal languages. It's also valuable as a protective stone, revitalising to the body and mind. It repels evil spirits, inspires tolerance, flexibility, opens up communication, and stabilises your energy. It's an excellent stone for creating and magical manifestation, strengthening the intuition, and for the power of transformation. Malachite acts as a psychic mirror, amplifying the energy one projects into it and drawing out the other worlds in meditation. Rooks and crows. It's no coincidence that the speaker in Rook calls on these birds when seeking knowledge of the present, the future, and the hereafter. All the crow family, rooks, crows, ravens, magpies, and jays, are associated with hidden knowledge and foretelling the future. The well-known counting rhyme, applied in different variants to both magpies and crows, is an example. 1 for sorrow, 2 for mirth, 3 for a wedding, 4 for a birth, 5 for silver, 6 for death, and 7 for the secret that can't be told. As the rhyme makes clear, crows and their kin are augurs, keepers of secrets and mysteries. The Roman author Suetonius recounts the tale of the prophetic crow, a pet of the Emperor Domitian, who could talk but would only say all will be well. Crows also became a symbol of hope as well as one of procrastination because of their habit of yelling crass crass, meaning tomorrow, tomorrow. The crow family is also associated with death, both because of their black feathers and their habit of feeding on carrion. Ravens and crows alike were considered to be incarnations of the Valkyrie, Norse warrior goddesses that roamed the battlefield searching for the souls of the dead. The raven was a symbol of Morrigan, the Irish death goddess. There are no specific legends associated with rooks, but according to author Neil Gaiman, they do have one mystery. A group of rooks is known as a parliament due to their habit of forming large assemblies during one bird will seem to speak or orate at length, so parliament could be important. Afterwards, the bird is either left alone or torn to pieces. So we've just dissolved parliament. Gaiman claims that the lone bird is telling a story, and the other bird's reaction is their form of criticism. If you want to know what the future holds, the black crow knows. It's significant, though, that both in Schubert's song and in Rook, the mysterious bird never answers the questions put to them. They choose to keep their secrets. The most abundant Eurasian bird of the crow family is the corvidai. It resembles a carrion crow in size, but the adult rook usually has shaggy thigh feathers and has bare white skin at the base of its sharp bill. So, the birds lay 3 to 5 light green, heavily speckled eggs, and the young are able to fly about a month after birth. Rook dig for larvae and worms in meadows and ploughed fields, and may pull up grain, seeding, and young potato plants. Some types of instinctive behaviour, while showing a rigid core of fixed action pattern, are still modifiable by conditioning and learning. So you can learn how to adapt. A good example is provided by the nest building behaviour of many birds. After the breeding female has chosen the nest site, she finds and deposits sticks, twigs, and pieces of grass there. A rook, standing on a potential nest with twigs held in its beak, performs a downward and sideways sweep that brings material into contact with the ledge or the branches on which the nest will be built. The moment the twig or branch carried by the bird meets resistance, the sideways movement becomes more vigorous and merge into a series of quick trembling thrusts called shoving. When the twig is in position, so building firm foundations again, that offers even more resistance, the effort becomes more intense until the twig wedges fast. After this consummatory achievement, the bird apparently loses interest in his activities for the moment. This bird has a mixed reputation. Their nests are associated with the approach of summer, which is seen high in the treetops, indicating the fine weather, and low being wet and cold. Should the rooks suddenly leave the area, it indicates that someone in the area is about to die and that no heir will be born to the family. In many European countries, the rook is considered to bring good luck. To see a number of rooks perching together indicates a storm is on the way. Hail Morrigu, Evo Maka, Echo Bad Ka, triple imaged Morrigan, triple named Morrigan, mighty queen, Badba, and Maka. It was you who protected the Tuatha De Danann by a cover of fog and rain and clouds, so that the people of Danu could land safely upon the coast of Ireland. You are three parts in one. You are the three phases of the silver moon, waxing, full, and waning. You are one of the three mothers, the divine matronate, who sit side by side with copious and abundant amounts on your lap. I had to pause you for a coughing fit then. You are also the vengeful crone, cackling in delight at spilled blood upon the battlefield, drowning enemy princes beneath your white waves, battling to protect those of the tribe of Danu. So Ireland is being protected. You have also appeared as a young woman, dressed in brightly coloured clothes embroidered with threads and glistening gold. Changing shape and form is but play to you, mighty goddess, and poetry and prophecy are your natural tongue. Loud is your war cry, sharp are your spears, powerful are your enchantments, true are your grim prophecies. As you fly across the battlefields, black as a sleek raven, making yourself visible to those whose life would soon be over. Your raven caw fills hearts with dread, as death calls slides from your widespread wings. Welcome her, women. Sit and listen as I tell you of stories, for it is not through bloodshed that she battles, but by her magic does she frighten, confuse, and dismay those who have aroused her wrath. So wild betide anybody that goes against the Irish. How filled with anger were you when the lad named Odras used your sacred bull to mate with his cow? Gathering up both bull and cow, you took them through the oak woods of Falga and brought them to the cave not far from the river Shannon, where one might enter the other world. Desiring to retrieve his cow, Odras followed as fast as his legs would move, but as the fleet-footed Morrigan, even with the burden of the bull and pregnant cow, you soon outdistanced the exhausted fellow, arriving at the cave while Odras was still far behind. When you later came upon him in the woods, his eyes closed deep in the sleep of his fatigue, you laid a magic spell upon him, so that he changed into a pond, his captive spirit in the water of the oak wood of Falga until this very day, so someone may be drowned in the waters. But it was the warrior of Ulster, so Ulster could be important, and the arrogant Cu Chulainn, who most aroused the anger of the mighty Morrigan. Some say that your feud with him first began on the day that you had watched him bathing in a river bank, and upon seeing his bared body, desired him to lay down beside you. It was then that you approached him in your finest robes, embroidered with all the colours of the rainbow. What do we know about the rainbow? Rainbow flag. Though all the other soldiers could hardly look upon you, so filled were they with awe and admiration, Cu refused your suggestion that he lie with you in love, claiming that he was too weary from the day's battle. Still, it was not this refusal that angered you. You showed much patience and concern for the man you desired, for you then suggested that you would help him in battle with the energy that he would save by your conquest in fighting. He would be able to accept your offer of a loving bed. So there's rejection here. It won't matter how much you sling yourself at someone, they're not interested. But he responded to this second offer with great disdain. The very idea of a woman helping in battle, and it was his reply that aroused your wrath. This made Sue an enemy of the powerful daughter of eternity. Sitting alone in naked puzzlement, he saw another wagon approach, this one drawn by a single bright red horse that was walking upon 3 legs. Now, a 3-legged horse seems strange. We must look out for that. But also is telling us that we do not underestimate our women and our daughters. Alongside the horse walked a footman, a forked wand of hazel in his hand. So he was dousing, and upon the high seat of the wagon sat a woman whose hair and thick brows were the colour of brilliance of flame. Your long cloak of blood colour spread out about you as if you sat upon a throne. Ever more puzzled and confused, Sue asked your name and purpose, but he found that the riddles that he received as answers were far beyond his ken. So there's Ken again, as he added questions. So understanding, listen. The riddles grew in sarcasm, so that his confusion soon became frustration, just as he realised what a fool he must seem sitting naked and unarmed in his own wagon, puzzled by words of his own language, holding the reins but ignorant of his intended destination. All then disappeared except the woman, who suddenly became a great black bird, cawing in laughter at his plight as your young wings slid off into the morning air. But you were not satisfied to have shown the man to be a fool. No. When next the warrior fought upon the battlefield, you gathered 50 white heifers, and linking them together with a perfect silver chain, you took the form of a heifer without horns, thus leading the herd across the field and waters until the confusion they had caused among the troops gave advantage to his enemy. So there's more ways than one to settle this. You then made yourself into a long black eel and twisted about the arms and legs of Coo so that he was unable to move in the waters. Just as he was almost able to pull the eel from his body, you became a sharp-toothed wolf, cutting deep and painfully into his arm. In this way you battled until the dark of evening began to cover all, and you left him on the battlefield, knowing that he would make his way towards home to heal his cut and broken body. You too had been badly hurt, especially about the face and eyes. Realising that you could best be healed by one who caused the wounds, if you could win 3 blessings from him, you soon devised a plan. So it was that on the next day you became an old woman with a milk pail, sitting with a cow by the side of the road, the path that he would have to take on his journey home. When he came along the road, as you knew that he would do, his body as dry and tired as you suspected, you called out to offer a cup of milk, suggesting that it might be pleasant to feel the wetness on his throat. Not knowing who you were, he came gratefully to your side and drank the creamy white liquid from the cup, blessing you for your kindness as he took the empty cup from your mouth. When you poured a second time, again he drank and blessed you, and yet a third time did he do the same, until thrice blessed you were healed. Coo Charlene was startled as you spread your raven wings, and even more so when you disappeared and the large raven that took your place perched itself upon a nearby bramble. It was then that he heard the shrill cawing prophecy of the future, grim and short in time, and watched as the wide black wings of the Morrigan disappeared into the distance. He stood earthbound and fearful of your wrath and your magical power. Women today in the role of Morrigan is different to the ancestors. Most of us are not involved in life and death struggles on a daily basis. The Morrigan is a wonderful goddess for strong, independent women, especially those on a warrior path. The Morrigan used magic to change her appearance to one of terror and cause confusion to help her warriors win their battles through cleverness rather than bloodshed. Should you wish the Morrigan to come to your aid, she asks that you have a shrine to honour her. Place upon it a raven or a crow feather or a piece of red cloth. She is honoured by a sacrifice of your menstrual blood, which is a perfect symbol of life and death, fertility and war. Offer yourself to her service, for she will come to your aid when you have need. Morrigan, I feel you here tonight, caught between my waking mind and my hollowness. You're drowsy and loose, ready to toss back another good day, to be alive. Morrigan, I could wait for you if you told me you were coming. I would be old then, and in my bones, but you'd still be lounging with crows and laughing like a good woman. Morrigan, I can smell your hair, something like blood, the wind that rushes over the lakes of Killarney. It is tantalising just to take a breath. Anand, I can feel your heartbeat somewhere at the core of the universe. The sound is women singing and harps are playing, all whispering to me about the night when we first met somewhere beyond eternity. The name Heather and the letter M is massively important. So, don't get too cocky and don't underestimate the women in your life, because if you're going to battle, they have better ways of winning than you. Thanks for listening. Speak soon. Bye.